The last time that we tested Battlefield 5, the results with the RTX stuff just weren't really that great. And although, I know that everybody said, oh, you're only supposed to use the low setting. Well, there's something that you also didn't know. If you went from the low setting and then you went to the ultra setting, everything was completely correct. Now, going from the medium to high to that, no, it didn't work. But if for some reason, if you went from low to ultra, it still worked. And those numbers that we showed you guys were absolutely, totally correct. And as you guys will see, now there's a brand new release that has just come out, Overture. Now, the Overture update actually does a lot better stuff with the RTX than you saw before. I think that you guys will be very happy with the numbers at the end of this video. I was pretty impressed. Although, even at 4K, there really wasn't much of a performance at all. From 27 frames per second to like 36 frames per second. It's about 10% in 4K. So as far as 4K stuff goes, it really didn't do too much at all. Now, the 2080 Ti, that's the most expensive card, so we decided really not to use that card because we figured only the most uber gamers are going to be able to afford it, and they'll probably already know what it is, but a lot of people are going to probably buy the 2080 because that card is at a much better price point, so more people can afford it. So we tested with the 2080, and I have to say that even though NVIDIA claimed that it was only going to do 60 frames per second at 1440, and at 1080, it wasn't really going to do, as well either. And well, honestly, they were wrong because it performed actually a lot better than they predicted, at least in our test situation. Our test system is an i7 8700K. We've got 32 gigabytes of RAM. We've got a liquid cooler. It's all in all just a pretty nice system. We've got an SSD for the boot drive. We've got two 2 terabyte Barracuda drives for our storage of all the games. We've got the latest Windows, all the latest updates, and the latest drivers available at the time of this launch to show you guys in this video. Now, the new driver also includes supports for upcoming DirectX 12 performance optimizations in Just Cause 4, Insurgency Sandstorm, and World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. Something that I actually find is a little bit even more exciting other than the RTX performance is the fact that we're going to get a brand new single player campaign. That's right, The Last Tiger. I love the single player campaign, so I can go in there and just do my thing at my leisure. And for multiplayer and for going in and just honing all your skills and getting better at the game, there's going to be all kinds of interesting stuff in this new thing called Panzerstorm. And that's the stuff I really look for, as well as the RTX stuff. Okay, one more thing before we jump in and also check out a brand new song from my band 7 Deadly Sins called Insanity. I want to make sure you guys know that NVIDIA is really focusing on the medium settings. So the things that we're going to be talking about right now will be on the medium settings, but we will have the ultra scores there for you as well, just to feast on. And with that said, let's rock. So check this out. At 1440, there is a 29 frames per second difference, which is better than a 50 frames per second difference before the update. Now, when you guys have RTX off, it's 106 frames per second, and with it on, it's 77 frames per second. Now at 1080, there is a 40 frames per second difference, which is better than the 60 frames per second difference before the update. 139 frames per second off, 98 frames per second on. Honestly, I'm really relieved and glad to see that this new update actually does take RTX to a new level and gives gamers, performance as well as all that great visual stuff. Now at 4K, obviously, there really wasn't much of an improvement. We've all talked about this many times. 4K gaming in many ways is just really dead. There's really nothing out there that really is like, oh, I'm the king of 4K. You can spend a ton of money, get 2 cards and go broke, when you can put a down payment on a car, buy 2, video cards, or you can just game at 1440 or game at 1080 and be totally happy. The graphics are great, and with all the new stuff that's coming out, it's really not going to make a difference. So at 1440, which I really think is where most of the gamers out there are finding the sweet spot, you guys can see even with the 2080 card, you're still getting massive frames per second, even better than what Nvidia predicted. So I have to say that on this particular release, it's a win all around. With the new single player campaign, The Last Tiger, with the Panzer Storm, all that interesting stuff, as well as just great performance, as well as with the new stuff that's going to be coming out with those other new DirectX 12 games, all in all, I think this was a success. For more information, we'll have a link down below. If you're not subbed, hey, please make sure you sub to the channel. We have lots of videos coming out. Make sure you have your notifications on, otherwise you'll never know what we're doing. Peace and thanks for watching.